Notice is hereby given that the governing body of the above named authority will be attending a regular meeting to be held on Wednesday, the 9th day of January, 2019 at 6 p.m. at City Hall, Asherton City Hall. Building located at 1001 Carter Street, Asherton, Texas, at which time the following Saturday will be discussed with call to order. Norma Garza.
Present.
Ella Bustamante Jr.
Present.
Maximo Jr. Present. We have a count. Pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment? Elvira Ramirez?
Gentlemen, ladies of the board, I don't know if I'm able to speak at this time, what I'm about to say, but with all due respect, Mr. Bustamante, Saturday's outage was not because of me, that I did not pay the light bill. It was paid on time, because Mr. Zamora questioned me. He texted me that he wanted to know if the light bill had been paid. Yes, it was paid on time. The power outage was from AEP, somebody hit a light pole. And from what I understand, I'm only in charge of paying the light bill from City Hall, the lagoons, lift stations, and the lights that, in town and at the park, not the residents.
You don't have nothing to do with that.
We're not allowed to speak about personnel in front of everybody, not unless you authorize us to. But I never accused you of doing that. It was just brought up to my attention from citizens.
From who it is? You might ask.
I just wanted you all to know, I had nothing to do, it was a power outage, and I did pay the light bill on time.
But it was nowadays, and no was a other area. So I don't know why anybody would question that. I don't know. I think that's right for me. That's my opinion. Okay.
I got a public comment.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding me today, the engineer, Ian, the assistant, for the water towers coming down on Friday. So if anybody wants to go and look at it for the last time or take a picture, it's coming. You got like one more day to go.
Yeah, we'll be working on it all day Friday, 7 a.m. through 5 p.m. So anytime between there, you can come and watch. We'll be taking it down in pieces with the big crane.
So by 5 o'clock should be down completely.
Yep, that's the plan. Mm-hmm. And it'll take another couple of days to haul it off.
Well, I'm glad you advised us here and all of us got to hear it. I mean, we're all part of the team together, not just one person would show. And I was afraid that if you weren't gonna show up, we probably wouldn't have heard about it, just through Mr. Bustamante.
I've been on Facebook.
Oh, I don't have Facebook, not everybody has Facebook, you don't know, understand that.
Yeah,
I don't know for how many years it's been up, but I'm more sure it's been up
Yeah,
for.
a long time. Everyone in the rooms, since there have been babies, it's been up there. So.
Yeah, I remember the
Yeah,
one when I
it's
was a
hard to
kid.
reach all the people and let everyone know when
Yeah.
something
They've
event
been
like that's
asking me, and
happening.
I've been
Which
telling
is,
you.
it's good at the meetings on this date.
We thank you for that.
Yeah, I remember that because my dad worked here, the water superintendent for 26 years, he was aware of it. So, I remember when I was a kid, he was levy, which I think it was done in the 50s, somewhere around there. It was an old. Okay, that's it. Okay, consideration and possible action to select and award engineering services contract for application, preparation, and contract administration for 2019 2019-2020 THCD BG funds. What's Conrad?
Yes, sir. We had procured for engineering services for the water line that we're applying for. And we had three submittals. We had Townhouse, Mr. Consulting, and Dunaway Engineering. And we went ahead and rated the proposal. I don't know if you have the summary score sheets in your packages.
No.
No.
And from the scores that came out from the proposals, Mr. Consulting that came out ahead, just on the what was submitted. So that's what we recommend as far as going to go ahead and award the contract to.
So what? Scores? Who's the one that scores them? I see Mayor, I see Odie, I see Zamora.
Yeah, so that was a committee that was selected by the mayor as far as to score those proposals.
A committee selected by the mayor. So all these bids have already been open and they've been,
Yes, sir.
I never heard of that.
I thought we were supposed to
No,
open them here in the meeting.
no.
There's a different, I mean, if it's like a sealed bid, yes, it's usually brought before the council to open here, and then they announce whatever the bid amount is, and then we go from there as far as scoring all that.
Now, right now, I'm just starting to get a little bit confused on how things are working with this grant, because whenever we had the hearing, that only me and Zamora and we had one resident that showed up,
Mhm.
I had asked you about, there was many ways you could use that grant for, different things you could use it for, and I told you that when would it be selected, like how, you said it would be selected in a council meeting.
And
Well,
well,
we never-
that was based, I mean, we still have time to go ahead and change it, but at the time when we came to the last meeting, there was a suggestion about the waters and the water line that was, had been submitted previously and hadn't been done, and that's when we went ahead and, I think there was a citizen that went ahead and also said that that was also a project that could be viable for the region. And, like I said, at that time, there's several projects that score high when it comes to this grants, and that's like the water, sewer, and drainage and things like that. Streets in there, and there's also like other things that come in, but they got certain rankings that they get when they get scored at the state. So that, I mean, that would be a priority. Nothing, I did mention that the infrastructure is what they look at when they're looking at these things. And because you had mentioned streets, and so usually they look at that before they go with the streets. So the streets will be torn up right after you fix something, right? When you fix a street and then you come back with a leak or something, or come back and do upgrades to the streets, that way that they'll all be done and finished by that time. So they'll look at that when take that into consideration when they score.
And this bids, it don't show no money figure.
There is no, you negotiate that afterwards until you get the contract. You don't submit, it's not based on monies.
Because I know we only
That's
have.
what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
the seal bids, those do happen, that's why they come before, city council or commission scores when they're scored. And they're read out loud before the public.
So this bid is for what then, if this is not
It's the-
proposal?
Mhm.
And then you select one from here,
Yes, sir.
and after you select that person, they'll give you the number?
So,
How much is it gonna cost?
we'll see, but there's so much money that's available. Like I had said, you can only go a certain percentage from what's the construction amount. And the limit's 60% of whatever the construction amount is, that an engineer can go ahead and apply for, or be paid.
So right now, we still have no clue of if it's gonna be, like, if we're gonna be able to afford it with the grant, because I know we're not getting the full amount, we're getting less than what we're supposed to get.
Yes, sir, the allocation for the David County is $275,000. At this point, the one for now, it's just what was split between, from Everett County, which is $450,000, and that will give you $225,000 for y'all and $225,000 for Ensenada.
Yeah, my only worry was that if this project were to cost way more than what we're getting, then the city has to come up with the rest, the difference.
Well, there's always,
No, the mayor's saying no,
well,
so.
it all depends.
The company's good with the amount we have for them, and, they're gonna come with them.
Until they bring you the proposal,
Yeah,
you
you have to
know how
know.
much it's gonna be, the total cost of the proposal, but it can be a little bit more
More,
than the 200 and.
It can be
What
less.
happens if it would be less?
What happens with the difference?
It's very unlikely it'll be less than.
And what happens if it's more? Do we still have time to change things around?
And when the engineers or whoever works on it, they'll look at it and they'll have some addendums to the proposal or whatever that they can take out or add if possible to lower the cost.
So in other words, the main concern or issue in this matter would be water, dealing with our water.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, well, we can wait.
Fernando, Mr. Wasante had mentioned that there was a lot of water projects or
Mhm.
work being done right now, but that's something we had looked at as far as I think it was.
Is
maybe
that
3 or
something that's different from whatever they're working on the different?
Yes, right, this one, yes.
Entirely.
Mhm.
Yes.
Because
It's
that,
something that is needed for the city, in other words, for us to come out on top again with what you're doing and what they're going to be doing. Finally, we're going to not see the ugly water or water problems or no water at all. The city will run out of water again or whatever.
Yeah, and it's mainly to do with the city won't run out of water again. Right now, you only have the water tower working, this new one right here. We're about to finish the ground storage tank. So if you connect a water pipeline from the ground storage tank to the water tower, then if one breaks, then you could run the other.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
So that's where they come in.
Well, that might come.
That
Yeah,
way-
your line.
Yeah, that
Because
way
we
you
don't
have
have that line right
two
now.
options for
We
where
don't
you
have
can
that.
get your water from.
but that's what I was
Instead of
speaking
just
to you
one.
about this afternoon. If we would have never gotten this grant for this pipeline, because right now we're investing $4 million in the water projects. So without this pipe, that means whatever we did on that site, we were not even gonna be able to use it. It's not gonna work
Yeah,
without
so-
that water line.
What they did is they picked the most important things to work on, and that's what we're doing right now. But then this can help also, which is why it's added.
Because if we don't do
afterwards.
that water line, all the improvements you did on that old plant is not gonna work.
Well,
It
you'll
won't
still
be
be able
able-
to pump water in the city, but you cannot pump it far in the city because there's not enough pressure, like, the houses by the sewer plant, the houses by this water tower, the pressure that the pumps make won't be enough to go through the whole city.
whole
It will
city.
only affect nearby the ground storage
And is
tank.
that like also going to eliminate the foul odor and also the yellowish or tint that it has that people have been complaining about in the community?
Because Norma, I think if I understand correctly, the only thing this line is gonna do is just give us more water pressure. It's not gonna do anything else besides more water pressure, right?
It's gonna,
And
it's
It's gonna
also,
connect both water towers.
Mhm.
but it's also gonna give us an extra line. See,
Yeah.
right now, we only have
One line, one water line.
going under Highway 83 that feeds the other side of town.
Downtown.
If anything were to happen to that line, for whatever reason,
Better,
there's that possibility that because of the repairs, that town's not gonna get any water.
Like, for example, when we didn't have the water tower went out, we didn't have no water for the whole town, if we would have had that other line over there, we could have turned on that water
Yeah.
tower over there, I mean, the water pump over there and had water feeding the town.
Mhm.
Right now, we can't feed the
Because the
town.
survey showed that we have two lines going that way.
No, we only have one.
So the survey's wrong.
that's why it's very
Well,
important.
we have
that we
two
get this project
small
going.
pipes that are just like feeding the residences. But that doesn't, you have to have one single pipe that connects the two. Cause you're gonna use that ground storage, tank water, and you're gonna pump it into the water tower. And once it's up high in the air, that's what creates the pressure that can make the water go to the entire city.
And it would be much better for the residents.
Also, to answer your question about just clean water, the ground storage tank that we're working on right now, it's gonna have a brand new chlorination system, and which will add to cleaner water.
And going back to the other stuff, Bernard, once they work on the proposal and everything, we'll be able to see that, and if there needs to be changes done on that, or we see that we cannot cover the amount that you're supposed to be giving us, then we can change some things, or no? You're only saying that we're only gonna be doing one big major
Yeah.
connection.
Mhm.
What can we change if in all?
It all depends on how we set it up. I know that at some point, when it was presented before us, it came out a little bit over the 275,000, when I believe I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure. But like I said, there might be some things that you can take off or add on, or whatever, depending. And they have to do their work, their legwork
The
too.
label hasn't been done yet,
Yes.
so.
And that's why we're trying to get somebody on so we can do that, and see, because they do a budget justification for the application, and there, we'll see what they're intending to do.
So once you get them on, are you already committed to pay them so much?
No, and that's why we did it, as far as this, I haven't put in the proposal for, if we don't get the contract, I mean, that's it. We're not gonna pay nothing, because the city doesn't have anything.
It's already on.
It's based on the contract we're awarded from TDA.
And there's no danger that we gotta worry about, like if they're trying to make it under that amount of money and they downgrade something and then we don't get the full quality that we're supposed to get because of that?
I mean, as far as the engineering practices, they shouldn't do that. I'm sure that they would, I mean, they have certain standards that they gotta keep up with, required by the state. So I'm not saying it's not gonna happen, but I mean, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't have.
It shouldn't, because they have the standards, and that's why they're certified, and you have the state certifications and all that capacity.
You might think of me, maybe I'm dumb, but can you tell me how you came up with those numbers? The 71, 93?
I know.
It's an average of the three.
But what were you looking at when you gave us those?
There's-
Well, there's proposals and questions.
You
And I think I
questionnaire,
had-
go through the
Yes,
proposal.
I think I had brought it before last time when I brought it in, that they have certain criteria that we base it on. Projects that they work in the area,
Oh,
and
okay.
things like that, and if there's liability insurance and all that, if they're certified under TDA and things like that,
It's a booklet, and you go through it and you score according to the questions that are on the scoring sheet.
Now, did y'all
So
do
that-
this,
so
did
that
y'all do it
committee-
together, or did you think about each one? Did you discuss your answers before you came out with your
Yes.
tool?
So
Why
that,
you show?
like in that committee, like the commissioners are not allowed to be in that committee, or how does that work?
I mean, yes, it is specific, but at some point you have to see if you're gonna have a quorum or not. I don't know if that's what's taken into effect this time, but I mean, at least one from the city council has to be on it.
Yeah, because I was not aware, I don't know if you guys was aware, but I was not aware that you were doing
I believe it was the mayor's, the one
So,
selected.
yes.
Yeah.
I had no idea that you had done any of this.
Just yesterday.
So I actually, when I'm looking at the total scores, you're going with the highest, the firm, the
Yes,
highest,
ma'am.
and then, the average. Okay. But it has, it's something that has to be done, I
Yes.
would think. Now, when you told us about this monies that were gonna be allocated to Eagle Pass and they didn't want it, we got it. We did say that our top priority, at that time, I thought it was like, streets, like having to do with, there's so many potholes in our town, there's so many need for, covering, putting new stuff on our streets. But I think that the majority of the main question right now is having to do with him, or with them, with their project, to get their project 100% in order for City of Asherton, right? But, because what I'm trying to say is, okay, why not the street?
Because the street was not a priority. Water and
Water-
sewer is
water
a,
is-
But we already thought, oh, right, we already have Mr. Thornhill over here, and he's,
No, but
they give you
he's-
extra
yeah.
points if you go with water and sewer
Because
versus the
what-
streets.
that's where I get confused too, because you had mentioned that, is this the county giving us this money, or is it the Middle Rio Grande giving us this money?
It's an allocation from the Sewer Review Committee or gentleman's agreement that we have. They allocate the monies based on population. Now, we've got 9 counties that we cover, and we get an allocation from the state, 1.2 million or whatever it is, and then they distribute that based on population, so that's what comes out for David County. But in this case, the 275,000 is still being used for the allocation for the county, but that's being used by Big Loss. That was the original allocation. But this money's, at the time when when the city had applied last time for this same project, they went ahead and applied, Maverick County did and Eagle Pass did, which is 2 of them. So they kind of went ahead and messed it up, and so this time around, they did not apply. So they could give a chance to the 2 that had not gotten funded that previous cycle, which is that they're 450,000. So they said, we're not gonna apply, so they can apply because we messed up last time and apply. So that's why they divided that, and that's where your chance came in to go ahead and apply you all and Ensenada, because they had messed up that time.
So it's not really the county then?
No.
Because the county at
No,
one
the county-
time, they had, came to one of their meetings and
They both got that money.
they told us that they had like 300,000 that sitting there that they could help us with whatever we needed. Like,
Yeah, but
water.
it's through that
Or is
agreement.
there something else that's
Well,
different?
it's probably the same thing, but it's through that agreement that they did this.
Yeah.
That you see the county judges, because it's allocated to the county when originally, so they can go ahead and know that what they, but any city or county can apply for that, depending on whose cycle it is. That's why we call it a regional agreement, to where every 2 years, somebody else gets a chance to go ahead and apply from within the county without application. So that's how they agree, said, so they won't be fighting for it and making it competitive. They'll go they have that agreement to where each one has a chance to go ahead and apply and get something.
So right now you're telling us that even though that they're saying that they're gonna give half to us and half to Ensenada, if we don't apply for a priority, they're not gonna give it to us at all? Nothing?
Oh, no, well, it has to go somewhere. I mean, that money's gonna be used, if we don't use it here,
Somebody
I mean,
else.
it'll go somewhere else, within our region.
Yeah,
So if we don't use it for one of the top priorities, they're gonna give it to somebody else?
Well, I mean, if you
No, because
apply,
I'm just kind of like, we're already spending $6 million on the sewer improvements
Mhm.
and $4 million on the water improvements. And you're saying that, I know those are the two priorities,
Mhm.
but we're already spending that much money on those two priorities, and now we're still missing more.
well, it's like you said, you have to take into consideration when you get those monies from, let's say for USDA, you have to take the top things that are gonna be beneficial to the city, and you eliminate some things. I'm sure that when they went through their proposals, they had to take out some things to come out at that, whatever monies you all got from USDA. So you still have things that need to be done, but you didn't have enough money, so it's like I'm saying, they have to reduce it somewhere or another. So, I mean, it's a lot of money you're spending on the water and the sewer, but it didn't cover everything you gotta do.
Because when they presented it, I was with the understanding that we're gonna be able to use both systems. We could go 1 week there, 1 week here, and now all of a sudden, we don't have this line, we cannot use both systems. And that's where,
So here, what I was-
We could use both systems. The thing is
Like I
that,
said, if it breaks, it's gonna affect you.
One only feeds the town. We don't have two lines that can feed the town. We have
Yeah,
one.
that's what he was stressing about this.
yeah, the maintenance part of what we have over there, the storage, I mean, we have to turn it on at least, Carlos and I were talking about it, maybe a weekend, or 1 weekend, once a month, so that we can give it the maintenance and not let it just deteriorate. Yes, I mean, again, like what the inspector was saying, the pressure's gonna be very different, because it just doesn't have that line that feeds that water supply to the tank, so that it can apply that pressure the way this one is, the way we have the way the elevated water tower is designed to do. But we can't just let that storage tank go to waste. I mean, it's our backup.
And this money is free money, right? We don't have to pay anything back on this
No,
money.
No, but we do, we
we go over.
go over, but, oh.
I mean, just go ahead and come up with
Hey,
it.
there's a time frame for this?
Yes, ma'am. Applications are due, I'm glad that they did move, they were gonna be due in February the 7th and 9th, but they're now due on March the 13th. So, but there's things that you have to do before then, let's say, for example, the plans, and then, if there's gonna be, surveys needed, we have to do that door to door, whatever approach we're gonna do to go ahead and meet the beneficiary, requirements.
So we need to act on it right now. I think we-
Yeah, I mean, if that's going to help the city and it's going to finish that one project, I'm not saying it's gonna be 100%, I'm hoping it is. But even if it's not, you guys are gonna come in and help them, they're in turn are gonna help you. So hopefully that's gonna take care of a whole bunch of,
It'll make the system better.
Yes,
I mean, I'm not
that's-
saying it's gonna be 100%, but I mean,
Much
it should
better.
be better.
Yeah,
and even though we can't have our streets fixed or whatever, or another park or whatever, I mean, we have to finish something at least.
I gotta,
yeah, because if we invested $4 million in the water, and then just because of something like this, it's not gonna work to the full capacity. it's not good.
And it's gonna be a lot of improvement for the city, for the residents.
Yeah, because we do complain a lot about the low.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
No water pressure.
Yeah.
So it's something like that.
So right now, what are we,
I tell let's go with this.
Well, they already selected,
Yeah.
we're gonna select this right now, right?
Well, we just made a recommendation, that's, it's not a selection yet,
No,
so.
not yet, okay.
So I don't know something that-
so this is just a recommendation?
You all have to make the final decision as to who
Mhm.
is.
But you already have it figured out, I mean, you
Yeah,
did your
we-
part, you did
yes.
your level.
Me, I see three names, but I don't know anything about. You all were the ones that went over that information, so I would just be guessing what to get.
So, in other words, you don't pass or,
But we would have to go through, we would have to,
I just said make a motion to accept it or do whatever you want. Or words that, I make a motion to award it.
Oh, wait, the only thing is like, Mr. Longoria, how did, okay. You said you had, these three firms, right?
Mhm.
What was your role in this? How did you feed, the other members of the committee or whatever, your expertise on the subject that we're doing right now? You know what I mean? Like, did they base themselves only solely on what was read from the paper that they got? Or did you come in and tell them, look, I know a lot about this and I would like for you guys to,
Not to that extent, I mean, but they did ask me, with some of the firms that I did work with, and then they had questions on, depending on the experience, how to read that, as far as, and then the projects that were done locally, they did ask me questions on that. But I just tell them what, my experience was with that.
how long did they have to turn in submit a proposal or whatever, these three people, or these three agencies or whatever? Like,
Time frame.
yeah,
Well, I think it's 10 days, I believe, that you need to put it out there, and like this was for directly email or mail, send out to them,
Yes.
return receipt, so they did get in time to go ahead, and it's also put in the newspaper, advertised in the newspaper.
okay, that's all I need.
Yeah.
So what is it that they send you, just their background on?
Yes, sir. Now,
their company?
depending on whatever, like I said, like the questions that you ask on what you're gonna score them on, and they'll respond back on that. Let's say, for example, projects that they work in the area, their experience.
Their number of years of
Yes.
experience, how many projects.
Also, you had
their
questions that you
budget,
sent
Yes,
us?
I mean, yes, and they'll respond back to that.
Their budget, were they within budget,
Yeah,
If they finish the project on time,
It
within
was-
budget.
within time.
that
The
sounds good.
project finish and everything.
I know that we're not.
I know, I've worked with Mr. Baja for several years, it's local, it's from Del Rio. Donaway was from San
They
Antonio.
have several offices, they have about San Antonio, and I think, that area, San Antonio.
They will tell you, I think it was 3 or 4.
I think they might have one.
So, I said, let's go with that. So, I know. Select.
Well, we don't really have them in, that's like the only thing we can do, because I was not here to look at any of the questions, it was only the committee, so we gotta go back with the committee.
Okay, motion.
Yeah, we need a motion to award.
Okay. Motion to award or to select the award engineering services contract for application preparation and contract administration for 2019-2020 TXCDG fund
Wait, the name,
for Mr. Mustafa
Understand. Second, I second.
Mr. Silva seconds, everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
Carries.
Okay, consideration, possible action, award administrative services for application, preparation, contract administration for 2019-2020 TX CDBG funds.
This was, also, we went ahead and advertised for this one. I mean, not advertised, there's a basically solicitation that PDA has, that they use. And so we send it out to 3 firms. Us was one of them, and then we had, GrantWorks and also Carl Lesser and company. And, the only one that responded back was us. I don't know if they had too much work. The last one I had submitted, Mr. Esser, for the city of Rock Springs, he said he had too much work, so he did not submit. So in this one, we were the only ones that responded back. That's why we didn't know, we don't have any,
There was no
Sorry.
proposals, it was just middle reading.
So
we were talking about it.
Did you advertise for this then? Where
Well,
were
this one we used, what the TDA used, which is the phase 2 solicitation. They had done the advertisement. They go ahead and gather the information for who's certified to do administration. And then from that list, we went ahead and selected, you're required to do at least 3 firms to go ahead and send it out to, and we did that. And, we were the only ones, like I said, that responded.
Middle reading was the only one that responded, GrantWorks didn't respond, neither did Carl Lesser. So we only did selected the proposal that was submitted to us.
So, I said that, well, you were the only one that.
There was nothing else.
And the other ones didn't, the other ones
They
didn't.
didn't respond.
Besides those 3, the other ones were not aware of it, aware of.
No, we did not send out, we just sent the 3 that are required, the 3
Which other?
agencies. Well, because there's others in that list that,
Oh, from the list that you
other
get.
administrations.
Okay, and what is that person gonna do write
Administration.
the grant or what?
Yes, we'll do the application, preparation, and then we'll go ahead and, if awarded, we'll go ahead and administer the contract.
And how much is the fee to do that?
It's, we usually charge, for the application, we don't charge. We'll do that for free, and as stated in the proposal, and then, for the actual administration, we go with 10% of whatever the construction phase is. And, but that's negotiable, so it's, I mean, it's in there, that we can negotiate that in case you have to use some more money for construction or something.
Is there one person only that does this, or is it more than one? Like-
No, we got 4 people that work on this, and we're trying to get one more certified.
So since they were the only one, I said it's, awarding the contract or application credit.
So you just make sure that everything's written right to where it won't get denied or
Yes, sir.
thrown away?
Well, we'll go ahead and make sure that everything that's required for the application is there when we do the application. And then, for the grant administration, we'll go ahead and keep all the paperwork, make sure that payments and work with engineers and things like that to go ahead and make sure that we meet all the requirements that are out there for
Yeah,
TDA.
because you guys are gonna be on top of it, that's what
Yes,
you
ma'am.
mean, yeah.
In contracts,
Yeah, because I know in the past something went wrong and they threw away our application because of one little mistake. So,
And that also came into play with Maverick, when they applied, so it would have been a battle, and I don't know what the reason, I know it's had something to do with the way they got the beneficiary information. Pero in the same area, that's when Maverick had applied, and they most likely would have knocked us out anyway. And from that, but that's why they kind of gave in to letting us, or the city apply for this round, for that amount of money. But you're right, it did get kicked out because of the beneficiary information that was.
so we don't have to worry about that happening again?
No, well, I hope not.
You guys are the ones that are gonna be doing that,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yes, you're the ones. So I said there's awarding,
Well, it's a different group of people working on it, isn't it?
Yes,
Conforno?
yeah,
No, but not
From the last one.
there's different people are working there.
Yeah. So I make a motion to award it to the mayor.
Second the motion.
Okay, the mayor motions to, award Middle Rio, Mr. Silva, Mr. Bustamante, second, Kevin Pierce.
Aye. Okay, consideration and possible action to approve resolution to submit 2019 Texas Community Development Block Grant Program application.
That's a requirement, sir, that they have, where there's a resolution that says that y'all are gonna find the amount and what the project's gonna be. I don't know if you have a copy in the package or not. But that's just standard, requirement for the grant, that there's gotta be something in writing to where, that y'all are committed to do that. And like I said, I mean, I've got no match on there, I only have the 225,000 as far as the monies at this point.
So it says the application be for $225,000 of grant funds to provide water improvements. Is that like not questionable as far as like specific item that is going to be worked on or done with those $225,000?
That covers most of it, because it's a water improvement project. But, and right now, like I said, we're in the application cycle, so it's kind of hard to determine without seeing the write-up from the engineer and stuff, to be more specific on what the project's gonna be.
Any question?
What does number 4 mean?
I'll give you all my copies.
Oh, okay.
Keep it on line.
Well, that's just it's a standard, procedures to where the mayor or the county judge are the ones that, since they're the ones that sign most of the documents. And once you get into the contract or you award it, hopefully, there's a signatory form that you fill out that has different people, because, I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes.
because we've done
Yes.
that.
So it's just for signature purposes?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I have an extra copy.
Okay, I make a motion to approve resolution to submit the 2019-2020 Texas Community Development Block Grant Program application.
Second.
Mr. Silva, second, Kevin Pierce, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Discussion on city concerns and questions for the city mayor, Angie Schroeder.
Yes, I have a few questions for you, Mayor. First of all, when Mr. Zamora picks you up to bring you to the office, is that on his time or in our time?
I'll take the field from you.
He's not gonna answer? He doesn't know, or? What about the speed limits that you put on the city? One is for 20 and one is for 30. Which is the ones that we're supposed to respect?
He's asking you, I could answer the question if you don't have no answer.
No?
Those are, it's different streets. The 20, it's inside the city limit, our streets. The 30 is the state streets. The one that goes, your 30 is the one by the park, right? The one going.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the 20 is inside the city, the ones we put on the 5 streets we did.
Okay, since the mayor don't wanna answer, I'll ask the city, manager. Mr. Zamora, do you, take time and go and check on the employees whenever they're doing some kind of job? Or you just
Wait
take?
a minute, on this one it says, we're going with the agenda, it doesn't say nothing about city manager, so we're gonna have to go to the next item. Discussion next time to purchase new utility software.
So what kind of mayor are you?
Can I take some of the purchase utility software? Oh,
He's not finished yet.
So, no, but that's the next item. Right now, we're still in this item. She put herself on the agenda to ask the mayor some questions, but the mayor, he's pleading the fifth. He's gonna refuse to answer any questions for whatever reason. So you put yourself on the agenda for nothing. He's refusing to answer any questions. So I guess we gotta move to the next item.
yes, discussion action to purchase new utility software. What was, because
Yeah, you didn't get no information on the,
On this one,
the software.
I mean, there's still that lady, Ms. Johnson, I mean, she was offering about 13,000. And
Was that the same software we brought up? I know this item was. Did you read that? Oh, we already ended this item.
what's this item?
No, we're in the software.
Okay, so, okay, got it, sorry. I don't read.
Mr. Bustamante, the agenda, utility software.
No, because,
I'm gonna get the meeting.
For the computer, for the water cards. for the water-
Oh, okay.
So they won't say that I said.
No, well, I believe that Alex said it was included
Take action.
for taking payments, I
yes,
guess.
the credit card payments, it's, what?
I'm not familiar with that.
We already had a credit card.
No,
Well, we have a credit card processing.
I didn't know that.
No, this item, I had already brought it up in the agenda, when we first started, it's already been over a year ago. Huh? We're already on the next item, the one about the discussion and action to purchase new utility software. That one we're talking about when you come and pay, like right now our system's we need to upgrade it. We're stuck in the 15th century right now. We're like the only city that actually gives you those written receipts and everything. We need to have everything upgraded. I know it's gonna cost a lot of money, but it's a one-time investment.
Yes.
And the thing I like about it is gonna be very, very detailed. And right now, I've always been about control measures. We gotta have control measures. It's gonna be very detailed. It's gonna tell you how many people, instead of having to, right now, the second, Odie's here, or Rita, they have to write it down, and then when the customer leaves, you gotta import it and put it in the computer.
Yes.
Right, with this new system, we're gonna be like everybody else. The customer pays, it's gonna be automatically in the system. They don't have to go back and put it on the system. It's gonna be very, very detailed. It's gonna tell you how much, if the customer came and paid $100 and you gave him back $20 in change, how many people came and paid that day. how much you collected in late fees, and everything's gonna, instead of being written, it's not gonna be written no more, now it's gonna be printed out from the computers.
Did you get the information que te pidió Alex?
This was what, a long time ago. huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
There was a
but
packet.
do you have it? ¿Cuánto vale?
That packet, well, the quote you had given me was around $13,000 for this software. Now, it did require a yearly renewal, and there was a fee to it.
But it wasn't gonna be 13,000 for the yearly.
I'm trying to remember the amount, of the renewal. No, it wasn't gonna be, it was gonna be much lower. This was the eight, just to start it off.
And that was the system that most cities were using right now, right? That was the
No,
one.
not,
That wasn't another one.
Info was the one that the most cities use. That one's the most expensive.
Because of,
But there's there's some that like it, there's some that don't. There's certain people that find certain flaws to it. This one, I'm not familiar with it. I haven't, I don't know of anyone that's familiar with this system, that's gonna cause, the quote that you give was 8,000 to 13. I mean, I don't know anything about that system, and I know no one that knows anything about that system as well.
but those systems, they come and they set it up, they train you and everything. They don't just come and, hey, you activate it, you learn yourself.
Yeah, I mean, they're sophisticated system. I mean, of course, much more sophisticated than what we have. But yeah, I haven't worked with those systems. I don't know anyone that has worked with those systems. I know some that have worked with Info. Some say they liked it, and some say, well, it does wonders, but then they start talking about the flaws. But then it has certain flaws, and some agree with it, some don't. So again, I haven't worked with Info. That's just the information that I'm getting with some people that have worked with that type of software. This one is very new to the people that I've talked to, which is, of course, it's much less of an expense than Info. Info is about somewhere between $21,000 to $24,000 just to get it going. So this is like much less, of course, but.
What's the name of that other company? The other, was it R something?
Because what we could do,
Yeah.
what we could also do, we could also advertise and have those companies come over here and give a presentation, and let's see which one we like better.
Yeah.
Because all those companies, they're all upgraded. They have all upgraded. They're not back like writing down receipts and all that. It's-
Let's advertise.
I think they send you demos.
Let them come to us and show us
I
how
would
it
say-
works.
So we could get different
Porque mira esa one
information.
that's gonna make it, she's gonna really let come in show her.
They send you a link where you can go in there, and if you want somebody to walk through it with you, they'll call you or whatever.
And if they could come to the meeting, it would be even better. Give a presentation.
Let's table it, look into it and get all the information.
Well, I don't say table, I say let's advertise.
Oh, yeah, advertise it, but I mean, for now.
Because right, well, we could take
Well, this
action.
one says purchase.
Yeah.
It doesn't say
No,
buy.
let's
It
table
says
To
the
purchase.
purchase,
Let's
automatically
table
buy
it,
it.
and look into it, in the next meeting. We'll do
Because
whatever.
right now, someone already has the information on how many on one.
On that RES.
And I think you had the info too.
I'll check on a past package. I might have, I'm not sure that RES is.
You can get it on copy and send it back.
Table it.
Do you have that information that you can show us right now?
No, we need to go deep in the file. Yeah, it was something about a year ago. Yeah.
So, but, table it and look into it, you can, whether it's called advertise,
I mean,
next month. then maybe they'll call City Hall and
Yeah, I mean,
And you think they'll show up to give a presentation?
I mean, they want your.
They wanna sell,
No,
they
no, we
wanna
have,
sell.
we have to advertise, like in San Antonio, and so forth.
Well, really the main ones is Encode and that's PS or RSV, I don't know what that, RPS.
Oh, yeah, I think that's the one.
I think those are the main ones that utilities use.
If they're gonna come, they're gonna
Those are
come
the
Stony
main
and
two.
because we don't want to see.
This other one that we have, Carrizo Hill had it at one time, when Charlene was working there, that's how we got this one. But, because it was cheaper. It was cheaper, so that's why we got this one.
So, we table it and,
I just say, right now, we gotta upgrade it, it's very important.
yeah, but we need to agarrar una vez, ¿no? Pero ahora, let's table it, look into it, que vengan, next month. Advertise, what, 2 weeks?
I mean, we have to schedule with their company to see.
Okay,
how
then,
they-
you wanna table it? I'll make a motion to table it and, advertise for, yeah. Let's see, Aguinaldo and, you and Elvira. Then I have to talk to, you're the ones here.
Well, what, y'all want a presentation? Y'all want?
Yes.
amendments?
So right now, that means that from tomorrow on, you're gonna get with those people.
We can call
To-
tomorrow to see if we can schedule something as
To
soon
get
as
their
possible.
Do it with,
And then just, when as soon as we know, we can have a special meeting.
yeah.
For the presentation on that, on how it would work.
Okay, I make a motion. Table it and advertise.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
I think
It's
most likely
included.
they're included.
And the thing about that is that they don't charge no fee for the customers. If they owe $98, it's gonna be $98, it's already built into those softwares.
That's what
So we're gonna table to,
advertise.
no, not
To get
advertise,
them to come.
Become the experts,
to
agents.
schedule.
And if they can do a presentation to give us as much information as they can, so we could study how they work.
Okay,
Can I get a second?
Aye.
Motion carries.
update on street repairs and credit. Who was that?
Street repair, no, I was talking, like, I was trying to get Mr. Longoria to help us with this, with our little potholes that we have.
Oh, okay.
Because those potholes are little right now, but with the rain, they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it would be nice if, I know that our workers are very limited, but to help us start filling some of them before they get.
Plus, I know on the,
Portion.
I know on the street repairs, like, it was already been a good 2 months that we approved to buy a load of blacktop to cover the potholes. But I don't, I'm not gonna blame the workers because the workers go by your orders. If you tell them to do something, they're gonna go and do whatever you told them. So I have no idea if did you ever give them orders to cover potholes or what happened?
Yes, I worked on a plan where I was gonna send at least 2 workers to start the job and complete it the best they could. But then there was leaks left and right just pouring in. I think Mr. Galindo's here, maybe he's my witness there if you wanna attest to anything. So there has been leaks, even as we speak, there's still leaks that need to be taken care of. Repairs need to be made, and, I mean, there's 2 full-time workers and the other ones are part-time.
So like, I've never really worked for the city, but whenever there's leaks, do you have all 4 workers doing leaks or what happens?
In this case, I've
Because I know a lot of times I see only 1 employee by himself fixing the
well,
leaks.
in these cases,
Or 2 at the most. I never really see all 4 fixing leaks at the same time.
I mean, it depends.
You
I
need
mean,
4, let's do it. But you just put them.
No, but he's telling me that he's making it seem like all 4 workers were fixing leaks.
no.
Which if leaks were a big problem like that, there's,
Well, I try to make.
I understand.
I try to make the team the best as possible, either 2 in one league, 2 in the other one, depends on the severity of the leak. And aside from the leaks, there's still other work, there's a leak of reading meters, there's sanitation, there's rereads, that have to be done. I mean, there's certain other things that come in place, and that the workers, tend to do the best they can with the work at hand. Leaks are priority. I mean, water leaks are priority. And if I need all four, two here, two there, however it is, I mean, that's the way I'm gonna work it until those leaks get done.
No, because right now, I passed by that tile that got approved and it hasn't even been touched. But like you say, there's been a lot of leaks.
And then, one
But
of,
I was thinking maybe you had not done a schedule for them
no,
to.
I think, I mean, this past month, we had one of our workers, in vacation, no podemos molestarlo cuando anda en vacaciones, and he offered, right? He came.
Well, that was another thing, during the month of December,
He
you
was
know,
on vacation,
we had two workers on vacation.
yeah.
So right now, do you have any schedule of when it might be able to
The leaks.
to cover some street repairs, potholes?
Well, the leaks are not as much as they were.
I mean, mind you, some of the potholes may not be real big right now, they're small, where you can easily, se me hace, work más pronto con eso. Pero esos, si no los llenas ahorita, se van a comenzar a hacer más grandes y más grandes, and then it's gonna take a longer time para que los trabajadores los llenen o los acaben. Pero,
I mean,
I don't know, Mr. Valendo would have something to say.
And then the other thing was the shredder. The shredder also, I know, 3-4 months ago, we approved to fix it. And it's working, but like you also,
There's not enough time, para hacer todo, también. We got 4 workers, y todos son by leaks, always, at least 2 of them, I know Lloyd and Ismael, they're also los que carry all the time during the leak, so they want to see the leak. And,
but I know the grass is not too bad, but I've seen some alleys, especially here in the Highway 83, like here in back of Pepito Ortiz, that alley, it looks like, man, it won't take them not even a few minutes just to go the shredder through there.
I
And
already
then
told
make
them
it
that, Alex, I had mentioned that a few months ago, that you got Arturo Cruz también, and, one over by, Mata, I believe. Eso sí, no hay tiempo, la verdad no tiene tiempo.
I don't know, is there any way you could, cause I know,
Bueno,
the,
como le hacíamos antes, it was working. Los estaban, los se metían ahí, uno was en el inspector, pero, I don't know,
is you have like 3 hours you could spare, there was sometime during the week, or like half a day, 4 hours, just to go through some places?
we can go to one of the workers to do that.
For potholes or shredding?
For both?
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Lo que tenemos que hacer es
We,
son 3, we can do that in every day, we can do it.
Huh?
That's what that's ready, and then it's alleys, we can do it in every day.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I know there's some alleys that look clear, like they'll be easy. There's other ones that have a lot of stuff in the way and they'll take forever. But I mean, like the ones that are more easier to, there's nothing in the way, just.
We were there for.
I know I've seen this one by back of Pepito Ortiz, I've seen that one in back of Freddy Cervantes, that's an alley there also. It don't look like there's nothing in the way, just drive it in. And if you feel there might be something, maybe you could go with the back with the pala. And just make sure that there's nothing that might damage the blade.
Dejó la only one, but usted me pararon a hacer eso.
So do you see it possible to squeeze it in sometime?
Sí se puede hacer, sí se puede hacer, sí se puede hacer eso que dices tú, se puede hacer, pero déjanos hacer, nosotros lo hacemos, muy bien, pues danos más.
But right now that's what we've been doing, we've been waiting for y'all to do it and nothing's been getting
Pues no quiere
done.
que haga yo nada, Alex, no quieres, tú no lo que haces todo lo que quiero hacer yo.
When did you have plans to do this? When did you have
Hace
plans?
mucho, Alex,
Our part, we approved to buy the material and we approved to fix the shredder. We're doing our part here, but then the part out there is
pues
not
tú
getting.
tú te metes ya a los trabajadores.
No, I only do my
Okay,
part here.
Sofía, ¿qué vas a hacer?
But I was just an update.
Pues vas a dejar que trae con sombrero.
Upstairs, on street repairs.
Mientras,
What do you do?
hacer respeto para los trabajadores.
Who's gonna be doing the schedule?
Well, right now, someone needs to have some kind of schedule.
You have a schedule already?
Oh, how do you do your schedule?
Friday,
Do it on a daily basis?
Friday, we can,
The schedule right now was to lessen the leaks that we currently have.
Yeah.
And then once they lessen by a certain percent, then the focus was gonna be the streets. Next focus was, using that, asphalt that we bought to start filling the streets. That was the plan.
No, because me,
The leaks are starting to lessen, can't say that they're not, they're starting to lessen, but I can't say that there's gonna be another leak or two popping up here or there. Cause that's how they happen. Our infrastructure,
the weather gets better, less leaks coming.
our infrastructure is not as new as it was, cause that's something that hasn't been taken care of, because there's just been no money to do that. I mean, that was the same discussion we had just a few minutes ago. So I can't predict when a leak is gonna happen on a certain street or on a certain easement, I can't. But if it happens, it must be fixed.
because right now you're making it seem like you have all your workers, but you have 4 workers working on water leaks. But whenever I drive around town, I never see all 4 workers working on water leaks. I only see 2 at the most.
Sometimes you don't need 4 working on a water leak, sometimes you need 2, sometimes one can manage to do the leak himself. And the other ones are attending to other leaks, however way. I mean, they're either evaluating it, they're excavating, whatever it takes to get to the leak and get it done, and get it repaired.
Let's do that. Mañana o next week con los street repairs y shredders, what do you think?
Yes, if you could
So
squeeze it in.
let me get involved.
Well, as long as we see something being done.
Okay. Dame otra vez.
Okay.
Okay.
You have to treat the workers with respect too.
Yes.
Okay, discussion action to purchase street material for new cemetery entrance. No nos iba a dar a Valerie, como la, no nos iba a dar Valerie con eso, pues le podemos pedir a ella.
El material.
Y van a ver el material, como el,
Purchase street material.
The material that she donated was just for the new city.
What, yeah, well, what I meant, it was like caliche or limestone.
But,
Did you get any prices?
yeah, I got 2,
Because I had thought maybe I see a lot of stuff over here by the old yard, but I was looking at it closely and
no,
it looks too soft. It looks like once it rains, it's gonna turn into sand.
No,
No?
no.
So that one, I think that one it wouldn't help at all.
Material. Actually, let's go ahead and purchase.
well, we bought some material from a Jerry Gomez, which was affordable. He's lending us, his current cost per load, which consists of about 21 yards, is $442 per load, or $442 per load. He said, I can manage to do that for the city.
That's,
Yes. And then Jay and the excavation, was pretty high last time, but this time around, they reduced it a few more dollars. And they said, well, we can let it go for $500 per load.
the same kind of material, the same material that Jerry's giving.
Yes. Sometimes they do have a little bit more quality type, soil, but in this case, I don't know. I haven't gone out there and compared both. But I'm just going by what they quoted me.
And you're talking about
You just got a quote.
I went today and I was
even need.
I was looking right now, I went today and I was looking at how many loads we would need. I would say, because I did on my block and I used that same material that Jerry is getting. And when I was looking at the cemetery, we would need around 6 loads to do a decent.
Because then you go back.
Tiene que hacer
Because it's a pretty far stretch.
we have to do
Are you doing both entrances or just
No,
one?
just the new one.
this one, la que está acá, la última.
The new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it would start, this is the new gate that we put in. And
Yeah, I saw
this is
that.
towards the street, so I need some here towards the street. and then you gotta go all the way down.
Yeah.
¿cómo está? Como de ahí.
Yeah, you
Allá.
gotta go pa' acá,
Dale como unos,
and then you got all that stretch, and then you have the little curve
Yeah.
to line up with the
Pero,
one.
olvídate nomás hacer nomás la entrada.
Yeah, but even if you do only the entrance, it would be good for at least 4 loads.
For loads, yeah.
But I was saying, if we do 6, we'll be able to do the curve into the first gate. And if we have extra in the middle of the cemetery, there's always, Bernard might know, he goes there, good amount. Like when it rains a lot, in the middle of the cemetery, right, there's like a little dip, like
Yeah,
a
little-
dirt.
Or the water runs downhill,
Yeah,
you don't take it right off.
yeah.
You need rock in there.
And it's
Heavy
not
rock.
stone, it's rock. It's not the little rock, it's not the big rock, it's the medium rock. And once the cars start going over it starts pressing, and
So we can press it.
it'll be good if, once we do it,
I think,
the county were to lend us their roller, and we could roll it over even press it even better.
So, but,
Well, that's a good price for 40. I remember when I was buying those loads for
let's
$600.
say with, 4 loads.
And you also have the next item, which is to contract the
Yeah.
spreading of the material.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's another one.
Imagine to spray material into it.
We went
No,
to-
but first of all, are we gonna purchase the?
I said, let's
But
purchase
no, what I'm
the-
getting, wait, what I'm getting at is, yes, you want that, and then you're gonna need the next item. And then we're gonna need the meter loop over here. We also need our potholes. Why can't we do one thing?
That's what I'm saying.
What is the most important thing right now to the people in Asherton right now? Because I just heard him say something about our money situations again. You mentioned something about money.
No, but.
Are we like that?
No,
Can
but
we afford all this spending that we're doing left and right?
when we're talking about the cemetery, it's gonna go out of the cemetery account. It's not coming out
I
of
know,
the
but
city.
it's not, how much money did they say they had the last time we talked?
Now we got it.
11,000?
Right now we have 10,000, or a little bit close to 10. And that's money that it can only be used for the cemetery. It can't be used for anything
Yeah, but
else.
those next two items will have. to
Because
be-
right now, last meeting, we approved to get the gate, and the gate's been done. But right now, if it rains, they bury somebody on that side and it rains, we're not gonna be able to use that gate because they're gonna get stuck. That dirt is not, and our employees are not gonna do it. Well, if they can spread it, if they have time, but right now they're saying they don't have time.
No, but,
We
need
could
someone
we could contract
need
somebody.
someone que sepa hacerlo. Okay, so, what are you gonna do?
I would
Sell the 4 loads?
6.
6?
If we have anything extra, we could do it in the middle where it piles up. Put it in the middle. You know what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Like in the
Okay,
middle.
¿cuánto vale el?
It's the old cemetery, the new cemetery,
Go
right
for
here in
it.
the middle. There's like a spot of dirt, they don't really have a leash or nothing. When it rains, I could show you personally whenever you want. Because how much would 4 loads come out? 6 loads at 440?
6 loads, that's about
2,600 something.
$2,640.
Yeah. Y luego vamos a tener que gastar para
To spread it.
spread it también.
But spread it is usually like around 100 an hour, and I would estimate it would take them at least 3 hours at the most.
No.
Six
Yes,
loads.
no, it's about 5 hours.
A good map operator. Huh?
Too many hours.
Too many loads you can?
What happens if we get 4?
Okay, so, let's, what?
1, 2.
The next street, let's do this.
No, I'm
Alex, you
calculating
gonna
the
do the
loads.
front only or the whole thing, the whole
So,
road?
From where the new gate starts,
correct.
the gate, you know the gate, okay, the new gate that we put over here towards the street, towards it needs at least
The
5 feet.
entrance.
Yeah, the entrance, it needs at least 5 feet.
No more, might be no, porque con los toquetes ahí,
Oh yeah, a little bit more there.
son unos 15 yards at least.
And that's just the entrance, that's not counting the inside where the,
Yeah.
So ahí llevan las rocas solas, nomás.
Yeah, además ahí son unas
because it sounds like a lot, but I know once you start spreading it right and pressing it right and all,
I think I
Disappears
know
fast.
que Delby tiene
I know the county has rollers, but I don't know if they could lend it to us or. But I know you still gotta spread those in backhoe, but later
You
on,
took to rent this one?
the roller.
Why don't you all talk to Danny Estrada, that county over there, they got all the equipment out there?
I know.
También.
Valley's different, I mean, Danny does a lot of work.
Okay, so what was the action on the street
Yeah,
material?
yeah.
We're taking a motion for the street material.
What do you make the motion for?
6 loads. 6 loads.
See, motions for 6 loads of caliche with who?
Jerry.
And then,
Was it Garza?
Jerry Gomez.
Gomez?
is it cheapest?
Yeah,
Can I get a second?
a second.
Mr. Bustamante, second, sir, everybody in favor, say aye. Motion carries.
Okay, discussion action to contract for spreading material at new cemetery entrance and new city yard. We're gonna have to start with one only,
One what?
para the spreading, porque si va a ser el yard y el cemetery, pues no. Can we afford it?
No, but it's 2 different accounts. The cemetery account is just for the cemetery account. This one over here, it is from our
I
account.
know, pero we're spending too much money here, necesitamos wait en la yarda, ¿verdad?
But I know the one in the cemetery, once it gets here, we need to spread it that same day.
Oh, yeah.
We cannot leave it there, people could start taking it, and that's good material.
What was the cost for the contract?
Only one, out of the two, one said he was not gonna
Submit a
Oh, yeah.
submit a proposal.
We only got one,
Mhm.
and I told another guy, but he's working in San Antonio, so,
You don't have nobody to win.
And he didn't submit a proposal, he just said, well, we had already talked about his, how he does his business. And Mr. Cruz said that he could do the job at $95 per hour, and that's at the new city yard.
let's talk with, Amigo Hardy, con Danny, maybe they can,
They can spread it for us.
yeah.
No, they can.
I mean, I can ask,
I'll talk to the adjuster, I'll call him.
the thing with the county is that sometimes when I talk to them, they said, Mr. Zamora, we have,
Ya te dijo la tierra.
I mean, we have workers, that
Well,
we have duties
you know what,
also.
mira, what we can do is wait on the purchase de los títulos, hablar con Jacho Danny, decir si pueden.
But the loads that's already been approved.
I know that, pero no tenemos como para mañana para nada. O sea, vamos a primero hablar hablamos con Jacho, con Danny, si lo pueden lograr, le compramos y ya estamos listos. Porque si necesitamos que no ayudes en ese proyecto, mañana, hey, yo tengo cosas que hacer acá, nos pueden ir.
And you never finished telling us, what did he tell you?
He charges $95 an hour,
Oh, yeah.
and he says that the material that we have there for the new city yard, he said he can probably finish it in 8 to 10 hours.
Oh,
So,
Right.
yeah,
8 to 10 hours.
that's what he said. So he said, if you know, if you wanna hire
Is he
me.
gonna roll?
he's
No,
gonna use- no, he's-
I had estimated that one would take 2 hours.
No, it is 2 hours.
Nobody's gonna,
give
everybody's
it,
gonna
give
want
it 4 or 5 the most,
Yeah,
5 the most. Right.
Yo pensé como las 6,
I know,
como 6,
yeah.
no, pero pues como hijo es, él es el que sabe.
I mean, I'm just going by what he quoted me.
No, I just saying.
Pero en esa, hoy que pues someone else, otra semana,
Pues sí,
Bueno,
efectivamente.
you probably can find someone else who were,
Well, the only ones,
or less.
the ones that I know are
Corre una
licensed
vez el carro
companies.
mío.
And they're licensed, they're
They're
gonna
gonna charge.
charge.
They have to be licensed también, porque
I don't know anybody else that's not
aquí
licensed
que
that has
sepa,
the experience to do it.
este guy,
Just remember that if you're trying to save $300, but that's gonna you're gonna have to spend another month or 2 months or 3 months at the other yard at $500, how much are you actually saving?
I think you just need to get a day and put the backhoe operator to start spreading.
what is it?
You
This
have
is-
them there, you have the equipment there.
Please.
Why are you gonna contract it?
Pues es el mismo que hago.
Give him some overtime on Saturdays, maybe you can do it on Saturday, overtime. Be cheaper.
If he doesn't have time, then
No,
no.
lo que hago de manda para
We only have one backhoe, and usually if it's a major leak that needs, or early that needs repair, sometimes the backhoe's ready for it sometimes.
yeah. We cannot count on
That's
it.
what Sabina's gonna do with the backhoe, right?
Yes.
So you only had that one
Okay,
bid, the other one said no?
The other one said
Yeah.
he wasn't gonna,
So what? So,
I guess, he had other things to do.
we only got to get the master system.
You only have to watch.
You wanna have, oh,
Do what?
are you? Are you, Norma?
I mean, it would be nice if we knew for sure he was gonna have it done, like, I don't know.
Well, he said he's ready.
How much
I
did you
mean,
charge, $95?
He said, you know,
No
if
breaks, Diego, and the 9 hour breaks.
he told me to get it done Monday, Tuesday, what, I mean, whatever day, he'll go and I'll get it done. But that's my price.
So,
What if not, at least we were to give him 4 hours and whatever he don't finish, we'll have our backhoe driver go and finish.
no, que no quede iguales, no, que no va a ser igual.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I don't know if he'll go for that. 'cause
No sé, Mr. Gómez, si
I think
puedo,
he said he had a minimum of 2 hours.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
think,
No, no,
I think Sabina said he, a minimum 2 hours.
2 hours.
pero no va a quedar igual porque ha venido que no va a quedar lo que estaba haciendo él.
But did you explain to him right that we're not gonna spread it in the whole yard, we're just gonna spread it in that part?
I did,
Ya
yeah.
dijo.
Yeah, that's
No
what
le va a
I
explicar a nadie.
And you're talking about both the cemetery and the yard?
No,
No,
this
No,
is
no,
just
no.
the
Just
yard.
the yard.
Just the yard.
Only the yard.
New yard, not the cemetery. Yeah, I did.
I know the cemetery,
Well, cemetery, we got the money.
the funds are there, the money
Yeah.
is there, and it has to get done because we cannot leave it just there by itself. Once the loads come, it has to be done.
It's a little here the next day.
So in the and he's Yes,
Ah,
experience, so you
we
should
need
do a
to
very
talk to
good
him
job.
entonces también para cemetery. Like what, en cemetery, ¿cuánto nos cobra?
He's gonna charge $95.
95 regardless,
No, no,
$95 an hour.
¿Cuántas horas? Digo, ¿cuántas
Oh,
horas?
pues.
No, yeah.
It's,
I mean, I can tell him 6 loads, how much do you think he'll take there? This is
Cemetery.
fine. Yeah, at least it's fine.
But before anything, you are gonna call the county and see if is like,
What can they do to help us out?
if there's luck and they have somebody available and they'll spread it. If not, you're gonna have to
We could
contract
like,
someone to.
next week, Friday, or Monday, whatever. Hablar con Betty, con Charles también.
They were willing to help you with the fence, and you didn't use them, so.
No, they had a lot of requirements for the fence.
Pero-
They wanted us to do the pole, and then they wanted a bunch of stuff, remember? They had a lot of requirements, a lot. And then they wanted all our sport workers to be there was them. No, they gave us a bunch of requirements, it was like, you know what, just tell us that you don't wanna help us out.
No,
Well, do
they
you
offered,
think do you all think they're gonna come back and say, yes, sir, we're more than glad to have you after you have torn them down? Come on, use common sense.
So they can tell you?
Well, he's gonna have to talk to Jerry that he got approved for the loads. Then Jerry's gonna tell you on what day he's gonna bring it.
Well,
Then after that, you gotta make sure that the backhoe operator is ready for him to.
So we're gonna
have to talk with,
We're gonna focus on the cemetery first and
Yeah.
the yard
Yeah.
for later.
But really, those two things they have to get done this month because we're looking at we want to move into the new yard next
Yeah,
month.
it's nice.
Because that
So-
was the plan.
Yeah, so it has to those two
¿qué
things.
son how much do we pay for months in New York?
500.
500, bueno, yeah.
So this month, those two things they have to get done.
I mean, he can get them done quickly. I mean,
Okay.
the way.
Yeah, if you have to get our own backhoe driver to come on Saturday and do overtime, you gotta figure something out. But those two things have to be done this month.
En el cemetery se puede hacer en un día. Un día, probably. Acá también, pero we need to do it. Porque es Wednesday, start Monday. So, make a motion.
In other words, Mr. Cruz will be doing both.
Whatever y'all decide, we're waiting for.
Motion,
Okay.
I can make a motion.
No, he said he was ready. I mean, just you tell me and I'll get it done. And, you know, I mean, he's ready to do it quickly.
Okay, just.
8 to 10 hours a night, $8.
This is the city,
Yeah, I can
that's down the city does. Yeah, the cemetery, I don't know, maybe
No tiene comparación.
Aquí como allá como
maybe
acá,
6 hours, 4, 6
Yo
hours,
creo que por
times 95, you know, gives you a range.
4 hours at the cemetery, so
Because me, I was averaging what I took to do it in my area. I had estimated it would not take no more than 4 hours.
y eres para quitar aquí nomás un pedazo, es como acá.
No, but even though the cemetery, we got the fund to do it, it needs to be done.
Yeah.
It's already,
Okay, make a motion.
I know, yeah, don't.
So what's your motion, Mayor?
Toca con Sabino, con,
To contract
yeah,
Sabino for what?
for
For
both,
both
for both.
the cemetery and
Algo lo hicieron.
city yard at $95 an hour, whatever. And then, who seconds?
I second.
Samantha seconds, everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, discussion action on installing a meter loop at the new CDO on College Street.
Freddie said he can do the job. He gave me a full, materials came up to $588 on it off. Labor cost $575. Got a total of $1,663.
In what
The
day
other-
can we do that?
Well,
AEP, no?
AEP, see, with AEP, they have to send out an engineer to evaluate, the service. Yes, because the only service lines the AP has is across the street and on the other side where Ambrosio Salazar lives. So they cannot give me a price on how much their work order,
It's gonna be thousands.
Yes.
It's gonna be thousands.
they have to come and see if it's gonna take another pole, then they're gonna charge it, if it's gonna take another transformer, I mean, whatever the engineer decides, you know, he's gonna include it there, and then he's gonna,
And he doesn't have to decide, it's mandatory.
yes, because it's,
Because you need like,
So right now, they don't, what you're saying is that they can't connect, there's nowhere to connect it right now, they're already,
well,
Taken.
there's two options, a process, like we're already in
There
regular,
on the other street by Mr. Salazar.
or Ambrosio used to
I don't
live.
think they can cross.
No, I don't think so.
You know,
No. Okay, get one?
I mean, they're not, he's not an AP worker, he works with lines, he just said, yeah, I think you can connect it across the street. I mean, he works with lines, I don't know, but it's not AP. You know, only the engineer, works with AEP is gonna be the decisive, that's what's gonna count.
do we have light in the old yard? We don't have light, right?
No.
So if worst comes to worst, will we be alright without light for a little bit?
Lloyd, ¿hay luz allá atrás en la yarda vieja?
Oh, really?
Hay un televisor que se está cayendo.
Pero no la usan, ¿no? Casi
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Pero en la
No.
noche, ¿no?
Pero electricidad,
Sí hay.
¿cómo va a conectar?
Sí, hay.
No, no.
No,
para conectar,
no,
no.
pero sí.
Luz no hay tampoco, ¿no?
Nosotros no echamos aire porque no tenemos compresores.
Entonces, pero we have to do primero las
Comprando
That's where other compressors.
y luego que vengan para poner el luz después. No podemos poner ahorita.
No, but we really, our goal was to move into that new yard by this next month. By next meeting that we're here, we wanna be talking about already moving our equipment over there. But if the dirt, if it's not sprayed and the light pole is not there, we're gonna have another delay.
Well, you don't need the light pole to.
Yeah.
No, no.
Hopefully,
I mean, they can wait.
so Zamora, I guess as long as they don't tell you it's gonna be over $8,000 to put a transformer there. If they tell you that, you're gonna have to put it on the agenda and
See, but the only way they're gonna make that evaluation is that, Freddie's gonna have to construct everything there.
so you have to construct before you
They
do
can't,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
the engineer cannot come and say, okay.
But what about if he constructs there and then they tell him, no, you need to move the pole over here?
No puede.
Well, he knows the regulations regarding,
Este quiere dar.
The setup.
I
yes,
think, but I think with AP, I think you can't you call them and tell them that, you need somebody to come and evaluate the situation there to see where, I mean, if it's even feasible to put a light pole
oh
there?
no, it's feasible. They'll connect the service to wherever you want. they'll find a way to connect the service. It's the, from connecting from their main service line to where you have your pole. Okay, that's how they're gonna work it. They're gonna work their equipment around where they need to put, if there's extra poles that need to be placed, they're gonna do it, and that's gonna be part of the cost. See, there's no problem with connecting service. You know, it's, when he comes, he's gonna evaluate it like, well, okay, yeah, I mean, we have this here, and it's gonna take this, gonna take that, and he's just gonna put it all in that work order.
So you need the pole to be already there when he
That's what the lady says. So the engineer is not gonna go if you don't have anything set up there.
Oh, well, I guess we'll have to set it up then. Okay. And then
Where
the
where
engineer
is
comes
that, where is that meter loop for where Robert Hernandez used to live on a mobile home?
It was. on-
Where is the meter loop for that house?
It's on the other side of, what's that street?
Like going to the water tower.
Okay, that's all they gotta do, run it through the back.
Oh, so it would go over his yard, or wire? No.
Well,
You would need to put our pole towards the back.
there's an alleyway that we've,
It just can't cross over the house,
The house.
Yeah.
but it can cross to,
So that means the pole's gonna
Back
have to
over.
be towards the back of the house.
now our best bet would be just across the street. And then we can have a meter loop right there, maybe, right in the corner, left-hand corner, maybe, where the gates are. Now, because that probably would be the least expensive method of connecting service.
Well, let's go ahead and try that.
So,
It has to be done. I guess Freddie would give you his
Yeah.
best expertise either way, because he's.
And Freddie said that he could do it this month, right now. Nah, you
yeah,
don't have.
Freddie's just waiting for an okay. Yeah, I'm gonna, well, I can't speak on his behalf, but I'm gonna say that
He's pretty fast.
yeah, by the end, I guess he can get it done by the end of the month, I guess.
No, because if he takes the whole month to do it,
No, he's
then
very
we still gotta wait for the
good.
engineer to come after that.
No, he's very convenient. you know.
Because waiting, I mean, it's not gonna be an issue to wait, it's just having it there.
So
already.
we let him know tomorrow to start on it as soon as possible.
Okay. Motion.
So I need an action on
I motion to
installing the
stop.
meter loop.
I motion to stop.
Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Discussion action to purchase cell phone for city employees. I was thinking of, why don't we get them walkie-talkies?
I don't mind, the only thing that right now that I did not like was that I'm looking at our phone bill, like $300 cell phone bill, 6 phones and only 2 are working.
Oh,
Only Zamoras and Oris are working, the other workers that are outside, that you need to call, hey, we need you over here or something, they can't even, how are you getting a hold of them?
Or they don't.
Those numbers not working?
There was another employee that had a phone, but that phone is not working. Something happened to it.
Lloyd's
so-
number's not working?
Oh, his personal phone work broke, yeah.
No,
But,
it's safe.
But,
Same phone.
because they're still
Yeah.
charging us for all those phones, we're getting billed for all those
That's
phones.
why, let's get them
He's
working.
had it over there.
So how many people have 4?
There
That are
were
working?
4 lines, I think.
No, but we're getting billed for it.
4 of the workers outside.
6 phones we're getting billed for and only 2 are working. But no problem, those phones, you could buy
You
them
just
at
need to buy the
Walmart
phone
for,
because you have the SIM, you need the SIMs that'll, you just need the phones.
the phone is only what,
The line's
$30,
active.
$40. Just move the SIM card.
And then you wanna get them.
Well, we don't have,
on the
well,
number.
how many
We
SIMs do we have? We have Lloyd's SIM card,
And then we have that, I think that was from the other phone.
Jay's phone? No, that was Jay's phone, the one that.
I think I
Ray
got a
has.
SIM card.
But if you're missing a SIM card, all you have to go is go
Just
so
get
they
it
can
just
activate,
$10.
yes,
Yeah.
activate
To
you.
get one. I know it's free, it's free, right?
And walkie-talkies, I don't know, you
I think
guys,
the range is too far for walkie-talkies, like if miles range is
I think
like,
that's what I only, but a mile.
I think only like a mile range on
okay, I know,
walkie-talkies.
I've seen other towns that have
Maybe
walkie-talkies.
they have, maybe Radio Shack or
Well,
something.
they give a base, I don't know. So,
Maybe they have a bigger.
if we get a phones, how much?
This will have some that get from here to Gamis.
See,
We've even tested it from here to the
the walkie-talkies, I wonder how much those cost or what?
I don't know, the officer, there's Chief of
somewhere,
this,
we go to the.
Who's the one that has
the school district.
the school district?
Let's see.
Yeah, I think
If we were to get information on those, how much they cost and
I can
everything.
take a picture of the one that we use that it ranges minimum, big.
Yeah, we can
I
get
know
some.
that I heard Ms. Mena from Asherton to get those.
But for right now, we gotta, it's not gonna cost much, just like, what, $40, $30, say, to buy a phone
Just the
at,
phones.
I would say,
It's phone?
Just the phones, depends what you want. I mean,
they just.
they're simple phones, yeah, they're little.
No queremos, nomás para que
We
ya
just want a
communique.
phone to call.
Yeah, just to call me, not to,
No,
So
one more
did
thing,
you
just
see the bill, $300,
No,
is it
no.
for data or is for just calling, what is it?
it's just the whole
It's
bill for
everything
everybody.
unlimited talk,
And
text,
it's
and web.
unlimited and you don't, if you're just
No, I don't know, I
gonna
didn't
use it to
look at
call
the plan.
workers, you don't need data.
Mhm.
So you can go down on the plan.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Study your plans and see which one's better.
I think they had told you since it was a business phone, and if you went down, that you wouldn't be able to upgrade it later, or
But
you
you
would
don't-
for a
you
big
don't need-
amount
you
or
don't need to put them in
something.
the
So they left
speech.
it the way it was.
Because right now, all we want is for our employees to be able to contact our employees or they contact
If you
us.
have AT&T, only one main line has to have,
that's
they
the-
can have unlimited data for 2 gigabyte only. And then the rest of them can only have it's kind of like the family plan. The main line has to have the $70, $80 plan, and then everybody else can have the $20 plan.
You would have to go
I
and,
think it's, is it 20 or 10?
My plan, I
I don't
have
know what it is.
7,
It's
I have
business,
7
I don't know.
lines.
Ours is a
Well, I
business
have-
one, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's why you need to check the plan.
I know my phone at one time it was coming out very high and I did some changes with them and now it's coming out pretty
Yeah,
good.
because it is different, because they allow the family plan. So you have to check the one.
Basically, you would have to go there to make
The
sure we
changes,
work
yeah.
with them. They'll work with you.
And they'll tell you, hey, you got this many data you're paying for and you're only using this much. You could decrease it and you're still not gonna go over.
But what do you need data for?
No, I don't think they need,
None of
yeah.
them
It's just to call.
That's what we have already.
Even Mr. Zamora, nobody.
Yeah, because I'm worried like one day there'll be an emergency, what happened and how are they gonna contact me, we need help over here or something happened.
There's a way they can
When
make
we
it
started,
down.
you told me that when I
Without knowing
we went to it,
So that bill, yeah.
yeah, we don't need anything
Figure
different.
out instead of having data for what you
We'll go take, some of these, vamos para Walmart para chequear. Ahí lo haré más barato.
Well, the lady
No,
said-
the phones, to buy phones is gonna be cheaper at Walmart, but to change plan and all that.
You have to go to an
Yeah, como que ahora hay que
And remember, they're probably grandfathered too, because there's no more such thing as unlimited data.
That's what-
Now there's only up to 5 gigabyte. After that, you're on the slowest, 2G network. So you need to make sure you choose correctly before you.
That's what the lady, that's what the lady
Yeah.
said.
Are you making a motion?
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
para ir a chequear el things y luego Walmart.
yeah, it's a good plan.
Because they have unlimited, same,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
But the thing is that who needs
we'll
data?
go for it.
Who is the one that needs data?
Para ahí vamos,
Yeah.
So then you go
para
from
ahí
there.
vamos.
Mr. Ortiz, talk to him in local.
And then for next meeting, whatever, if you get information on walkie-talkies, we could bring that
Yeah,
in.
pues también
I'll get information on the
well,
water.
we can,
We
it's
So I
up
have a
to
motion
them,
for Mr. Silva to purchase the cell phones, Ms. Garza,
Make sure they
Yeah, like a
complete
Walmart
the
order.
best phones that they have, up to date.
So, okay, we're good.
Okay, discussion item to purchase pole for, stop signs.
No, stop signs, we had spoke about it last month, that we wanted to, we have a lot of missing stop signs in town, and we have already like 10 stop signs here in the storage room, we're just missing the posts. Did you get any pricing on the posts?
29.99.
And by bulk, or is it cheaper?
They just said depends on how,
$40.
The freight, the pole's gonna cost you $29.99, but the freight is gonna just depend on how many you order. It's gonna be cheaper.
So you don't
if
get
order
penalized
more.
for ordering too little then?
Yeah, no,
No.
but your freight will be higher,
Yeah, so
and then
you,
if you were to order 5 or 10, when you order, the freight comes down.
okay.
But your poles are still $29.99.
Yes.
Well, we have 10 stop signs there.
Samara, how much were the poles here when you went to Alamo? Were they $40 or something you said?
No, I think that cost me 60 or,
He didn't like them, whatever they were, but I got them at, with that lady, they were $29.99.
And it's the same kind of pole?
No, the ones that we got were the breakaway.
Yeah, already for $29?
Where at, Cody?
It's called Redbud. The company's called Redbud.
San Antonio?
I don't even know where they're from, to tell you the truth, they always call me.
Check and see if they're from San Antonio, I'll go get them for you.
So $300.
I'll check. I don't even know where they're from, to tell you the truth. I'll check.
Si son por unos 10, 15, I'll go get them for you.
Yeah, I know it's Redbud, but I
I
don't know
went,
where
I
they're
went
from.
down to the 31st.
De nada le sirve poner stop signs, hombre, los pasan, they don't make sense.
Well, I don't think we need all all the poles. I think that we have some poles and some that have to be, just the stop sign needs to be replaced, correct?
I think I only seen one. I seen one pole over here by
That was-
where Chico's, his house that he
Oh,
had.
yeah.
There's one pole there and it's missing the
The
stop sign, but the
it was,
pole's there.
that one, somebody ran into it. I don't know what they did with the stop sign.
Hey, did we
Somebody
ever-
ran into it.
Oh, they were saying?
But like the one on Diaz Street, that one needs to be replaced
They
because
already
it's too
replaced
short.
it, right? Oh, yeah, that one, yeah, that one's too
And I
short.
think I
Well,
saw
I just-
another one on Labor Street, on the corner where Nora Estrada lives, and that one needs to be replaced, it's a little one too.
And over here also, remember where the branch used to hit Angie's car on top? It has a small stop sign too.
But like those stop signs where you come up to the farm road, the state doesn't pay for those stop signs?
No,
It's-
but
it's on-
They have to be on the road, at the
I said,
actual,
the county.
they have to be in the
That's
actual,
county.
That's
road.
like crossroad.
I know the one that we put there by where Juan Lerma lives, that stop sign, someone has spoken to the state and the state.
They wanna pay for it.
They were
no,
not
they
gonna
said
pay
we
for it.
could put it up, but that they,
Yeah, the county. Son de nosotros.
Mr. Bustamante, ahí donde tiene el stand, el señor que se llama Tony, aquí por donde vive Tomás,
Mama's
viendo
Kitchen.
para arriba,
Oh,
Mama's Kitchen, where all each stand inside.
ahí,
chicken burgers.
ahí,
Ahí no está la bolsa,
tiene
¿no?
mucha hierba alrededor, tiene mucha hierba que casi no se mira, pero ya van 2 veces que yo miro la troquita blanca del City. No stop sign.
There's no stop signs ahí?
They don't do it.
Oh, there's a stop sign, but
Oh,
They don't do
They
it.
don't do a stop.
They don't do a stop.
So, what is
So-
it?
So if you do 10 signs
Van a
times
gastar dinero.
$29,
$200.
300 and then give it an estimate
And then
and
Third
then
Street.
Yeah, 300 something.
oh, but you said there's sort of like 3 signs that don't need the pole.
There's some that don't need the pole, they just need, como está viejitos y faded, los stop signs. Those are, just need to be replaced, but the other ones, like those other 3, those need the pole.
They have.
Those need the pole. They have a sign, but they need a pole.
So it's up to y'all if you wanna go like specific on how many we need or you wanna have a little bit extra.
I think we need to know much more.
Mr. Zamora had purchased some here at Alamo, and he said that. they
We
were
got
too
10 signs
expensive.
here in the storage room
10, and how many do we have on the streets that are still workable?
that need to be replaced,
Yeah.
at least 3.
Those 3 that I know of, but there
So
might
that
be
means that we
more.
would only be missing like 7 poles.
I know there's a stop sign missing over here on, Washington and, what is it, 13? There's a stop sign missing there, but the pole's there, so.
So we need like 6
Oh,
poles
yeah.
then. 6 poles, but if the freight is gonna be super high, we might as well go ahead and buy already
The
like
10.
10 poles.
I can ask, she can
The
give me an
difference
estimate,
between,
she can give me an estimate before she ships out.
But if Mr. Bernardo or somebody else goes forward.
Or
you're
if
gonna have to
they're from
take
San
that.
Antonio, yeah, maybe I really don't know where the company's from.
Find out.
But I'll
I'm gonna go in the 24th and look for Hardy or Oco.
I'll check if it's from San Antonio.
Uvalde.
No, they're from somewhere else.
I wanna just make the best decision, money wise for this.
Okay. Motion,
So I need a motion, yes.
Motion to approve to purchase, posts for the stop signs for first time there.
Second.
You're gonna give me an, price range?
Says-
Well, do the best option that,
Okay.
from the numbers they gave you, take the best option.
Okay. I'll let you know before I order it. Everybody favors it?
Right.
Motion carries.
Okay, discussion action to purchase children's play sign, Mayor Silva. I still say I need two others, but it's up to you.
Where,
Where, Mr. Silva?
Company housing in, this Diaz Petrol.
What is that?
Por acá, Juan Elma.
Yes,
Yeah, I know. What I don't understand is now you're trying to tell me that we have to take care of, we have to be careful because there's children that play there. So the children wanna be playing in the street, we're the ones that have to be careful, because they're
No,
playing.
no, yo te qué teléfono yo te enseño. Donde quiera ahí, el carrito yo he visto en San Luis. Okay, do you wanna give it, okay?
I don't.
Okay.
I need a second.
second, no motion, or let me say no. No,
Okay,
no action.
So no action. Ms. Garza, Mr. Bustamante, motion, second the motion, everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, update on fuel logs for the month of December 2018.
Did they fill up this month?
They filled up in, what was the date? December 14th? That was before the holidays.
So this reading is for a whole month?
Since December 14th
Like
till
how many days?
January, yeah, recently, this week, yesterday. Printed it out yesterday, so it's for yesterday. So yeah, technically, about 2 weeks.
So the sanitation truck didn't use no gas? Only
Oh, it's
put
not
gas?
working, we're using the county truck.
So the county,
It's working now,
they already fixed it?
Yes, put it to use today.
Just in time.
Okay.
You're fine, Ms. Garza?
Mhm.
Next time. Next time, yeah. They have no questions on the update.
Discussion approval of city measure report.
I just have 5 items, as usual. I reviewed the monthly USDA contractual engineering and attorney payment agreements for the month of November. They were paid. I don't know what's gonna happen if the month goes because of this, government shutdown. But, we at least did the payment for the November, we met the November payment. The other one is, assistant auditor with financial records and information regarding our audit. He's still, asking for more, he's gonna be here Friday, so we'll see how far we can get with that. He wants to complete the audit. Maybe by then he'll have enough information to complete it. It is extensive work, so.
So you're doing all this work and not the palabras?
Well, I mean, it's a bit different than the auditor we had, but whatever he asks, that's what we've been providing. I mean, it must get done.
He wants to find Dora Kilo. I need to talk to him, like,
No, but whatever he asks you for, you're supposed to already have it in record here, so it shouldn't be no big deal.
Well, it's just,
You're just giving him whatever he wants. You should already have it.
we're just searching through the files. I mean, he's asking for 4 years, back.
40 years.
4 years, yeah, he's asking for information for 4 years, audits from the past. I mean, I don't understand that because those audits have been already done and completed by some other auditor, but he's asking for 4 years, back, information that pertains to past audits.
Maybe you want to audit up his administration or what?
And he's doing all that for a cheaper price?
Well,
Yeah, but at the end, ¿cuánto nos va a salir?
I mean, because, the pricing quarter, I remember, it was not set totally in concrete. I mean, he said he could work with that price,
But at the end,
but we don't know what the end,
Yes,
yes.
price is gonna go high.
Finally
Uh,
coming out.
The other one is, completed the system for award management renewal for the year 2019. This is something that must be done annually to apply for any grant, so this CDBG grant shouldn't affect us, because I've completed it. They already sent me a confirmation saying that we have been registered for it. Met a few times with Mr. Longoya concerning this grant, so it seems to be going pretty well. Hopefully the monies that are proposed, the city will receive. And the last thing is, reviewed and provided requested information to Mr. Arturo Smith. He's a contractor, a radio engineering contractor, and that's regarding a project that TxDOT has proposed for either the end of this year or next year, along Highway 83. They sent me some maps. They wanted to know any utilities, especially our utilities. The only utility we do have that exists out there is a 2-inch line that runs about, maybe about a half mile for FM, what is it, 1557 East Highway 83, and it runs north. I don't know the exact endpoint of that line, because a map was never created for it. It wasn't done by an engineer. It was done by city just because somebody asked for water service out there. So I'm doing the best that I can with them. There's gonna be a training or workshop. I haven't received anything. He said he was gonna send me the information. And I believe it was next week on a Friday. So he said, if you could make it, please attend. Again, he hasn't sent any information regarding that workshop, in terms of that project. But again, like I said, that's all we have, is just a 2-inch water line that runs somewhere a few miles to north, going towards Laredo. That's about it.
And what do we have to do with that land? We have to move it or what?
No, it probably is not gonna affect us in any way, but he wants precision, he wants,
Also that they won't hit it or something?
the plan is that they're gonna, the way I'm understanding this is they're gonna widen the road here and there. Somewhat like, I'm gonna say like Highway 57 that runs through the fire, over to 35, there's passing lanes.
Yeah.
That's my understanding. I mean, they're still working on this. So he's not saying right now that where our water line exists, that's where they're gonna do an extension of the road, or make it wider. He's not saying that right now. He's just needing information as to what we have. That
Maybe
runs.
you could tell JD can tell us something maybe.
Well, you see, there was a permit that was created. He asked for TxDOT information, and apparently TxDOT didn't really have much on that. I said, well, we do have it, I've seen it, we have it on record that there was a permit done on that line, the TxDOT. But, you know, if TxDOT doesn't have much, that's all I can give you. I mean, it wasn't a line that was developed through an engineer. It was just something that the city did here. Just to give service to people out there. So that's all I got. I don't have any more to give you, but I'll work with you. I'll work with you the best I can. That's it. That's all we got.
That project's gonna take place anyway between 2019 and 2020.
Yeah, it's about a year from now, I guess that's when you'll see this project happen. So they got a year to get things going.
There's two things I was gonna ask you very quick. The first thing, remember the picture frames, whatever happened with lines on picture frames to put the,
Yeah, I've left Ms. Ramirez in charge. She's gonna help out with that, but we had a short month, you know, it was hectic, you know, and we just haven't gotten to that yet.
okay, and the other thing I was gonna ask you, are you aware that the shut-off valves that they're putting, some of them are plastic?
Yeah,
And that our employees are not able to get to it and.
yes, we just need to purchase a special tool for them. That's another thing, years back, I mean, our town, it's small town, but our line should consist of 6 inch at least minimum. And I don't know back then how they work things, but some areas consist of 2 inch water main lines. You know, shouldn't be that way, but that's what we have. So, in order to conserve some money and actually put the actual valves that are needed on the 6 inch lines, they're working with those plastic shutoffs on the 2 inch lines. Hopefully in time, the city will get more grant money to work the infrastructure, remove these 2 inch lines and replace them with 6 inch lines. And then, only then the city can work these valves, these cast iron, whatever they're made of, valves to be placed on those 6 inch lines. Yeah, it's kind of like what they're saying is that we can place one of those cast iron valves, but on a 2 inch line, I mean, it's a lot of money. The city shouldn't have had a 2 inch line in the first place, but y'all have it. It's fine. It's worked well. But what we can do is place those plastic valves and help supply you with more cast iron valves on those 6 inch lines that exist on the other side of Highway 83. So that's been the.
So that was already part of the contract to do it like that?
Yeah, there was a proposal that some of these lines could have some plastic shutoffs. I mean, at least for a minimum of less than 6 inch, which that's a 2 inch line, it's less than 6 inch, so.
And they are gonna get the tool that they need?
Yeah, I spoke with the inspector, he's not here, but he said that he was gonna try to get a tool to help us out with those valves.
Because right now without that tool, they're not able to use it.
Yeah. So that was the discussion of that.
Ready? Approve,
Everybody heard saying?
Aye.
Okay, the church gonna put a fire department in the Rosa, so we're gonna skip.
Can I say something? I was gonna ask the fire department, look at Mejitas, about that bonus they got. That-
Huh?
As far as I know, I mean, you were the one that told me that the fire department, they received the Christmas bonus, which they gave themselves. And also, you told me that, you told the mayor, that they were receiving donations from our, oil companies, and they were not letting you guys know, because y'all have no business in knowing what,
And
their
they got
their
a
account.
separate account, they got a separate account.
But you said that they had said that they didn't have to give you no notice, nothing,
And the separate
as to
account,
where they were spending their money. I mean, You were the one that told me that, I didn't know nothing about that. And the bonuses and Christmas parties. And then we're paying $2 a water meter, each meter for the fire department. You don't know nothing about that?
That account sometime back, Mr. Rosas presented that, they had a different account, they had opened a different account that was on their own, and that's where some of the donations that they were receiving, or, I guess any fundraisers, that was when Mrs. Orozco was, I don't know if she's still the secretary or not. And he just said that, well, that money, that's not connected with the city, so.
But to me, as long as they're using the name of Asherton Volunteer Fire Department, they have a right to let y'all know as to where they spend their money and how much donations they get.
Exactly.
I mean, that's only fair.
We're paying $2.
Yeah, because we're paying $2 each meter.
They got a different account, that's all I can tell you.
He's not here.
We all gotta check into that because, I mean, if they're getting donations from oil companies, and then we're still giving them money, I mean, y'all gotta check out on that.
Yeah, guys, he's not here to explain to
Yeah,
us.
I know, but I was just gonna bring it up to you guys so you know, you have to part.
We'll just go to the next, meeting. Thank
And
you.
all this information I got from the mayor.
Yes, sir, I did cover it.
I was not aware of
I
that.
wasn't either, the first time I heard this.
Aquí no dijo Rosa.
No.
Did that come?
The only that I was questioning at one time was when they had their bingos, that we were never told how much money came into their bingos. I have no idea, and
They're fundraisers.
but
Yeah.
still, if they can do their own fundraising like that, let them be a different entity from the city then. They don't need our $2.
Well, they take out the $2 and you'll help more the people than him.
I mean, that's how I feel about it, I'm sorry. But this is a small community, we're doing our best to help whatever entity is there to help us. In case of emergencies, we have them, but if they're going to be like that, like letting us know, what do we have to hide? Is there something to hide in this?
Yeah.
That's what I told you, this time here, that's in the meeting,
Okay,
some time
so
ago.
we'll talk about that next.
Okay, discussion approval of account receivable for the month of December 2018. I've received these, though.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Mr. Bustamante, motion to approve?
Yes.
Ms. Garza, second, everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Discussion approval of account payable for the month of December 2018. Move to.
To approve.
Yes.
Second, Mr. Bustamante, everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Discussion approval of minutes for December.
No table, that's in table. Discussion and
Yeah.
action for approval of tables.
No,
Oh, reconciliation.
reconciliation. Next.
For the month of December 2018.
Yeah, I saw that you already opened up an account for the mineral rights, but they're still not being transferred?
They
They
not,
get deposited,
Huh?
not transferred. They get deposited, not transferred.
So you gotta make a deposit? They can okay, you can. So you're gonna do
It comes
deposit?
in a check, so that one has to be deposited first,
Because right now it's still being deposited in this other account, the city hall.
It shows the money as, because it's part of the
the city hall account.
the general fund.
But it's not
Yeah.
supposed to be like that.
It's not deposited into the city hall, it has a separate account.
Yeah.
But the separate account is zero, there's nothing in there, nothing has been deposited in. And the separate account that we open for that, the mineral rights, it's a zero balance.
We did,
No, it
we
should
did
have.
this year.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that money was supposed
I
to be
think it's
deposited.
a thousand,
There's
and
not that much.
The statement I saw was zero.
You?
Yeah.
Who is it?
for the mineral rights?
Yeah. At least they give me the.
Oh,
one from the-
unless it was because when we did that first one, we did transfer that first one, and then now it's being deposited, but remember, that month when our computers were, the internet was down, we didn't do transfers till December,
So they didn't show on the
so it
statement.
maybe didn't show, but I need to check, I didn't check that one,
No, just keep an eye on that, make sure it's being,
Mm-hmm, deposit.
but I know it was $1,100 and something dollars.
that's it.
Did you get it this month already, Rita?
So the one I saw was last month then.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah, because you're working a month behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
A second.
Garza second, Commissioner Clement first, Ms. Garza second, so everybody in favor say aye.
Right.
Motion carries.
Discussion approval of minutes for December 12, 2018.
We need to make some corrections first,
Yeah.
so we need to table them.
And that's it?
Yeah.
We'll table it for the next meeting.
Next meeting.
So we're missing a little bit of correction.
There is missing some stuff that I didn't have chance to go today and go back and look.
I'll make a motion to table.
Ms. Garza, everybody in favor say aye. Motion carries.
La siguiente apuesta que the rest of the Commission City they intend to discuss any amendments listed below authorized by Chapter 551. Prison Government Code, subject to personal matters 551.07 for succession matters. Discussion and making welcome to Virginia. This one.
Chay Cruz,
Ajá.
él me dijo de lo que había visto en YouTube,
Ajá.
en la meeting, y aquí
¿La miró?
one of the meetings.
Oh, no, pues he did one.
Ah,
Pero
no,
he said that, he said que ya no iba a hacer, dijo nomás ese, hijo, porque yo no saco nada de eso, como something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
No, he just did that one time one.
No wonder que he told me about that one.
That was a long time ago. Él solo vino y le hizo un, we found out.
Return to organization.
Oh, yeah.
The board may take any action on items discussed. Discussion meeting workers. We took up our employees, so someone else is gonna take care of it. So that's about it from us. And,
Discussion action.
She's in the motion. Do you need a motion or what?
yeah. No, wait. No, pues ya.
Not
Aparte,
one.
aparte, public comment.
No action.
Right.
Okay. So next item,
Public comments.
public comment.
Since this is public comments, can I ask a question to Mr. Zamora?
Yeah.
He's not in the agenda. Can I ask him a question?
Yeah.
Mr. Zamora, when you go and pick up the mayor, the same question. Do you go on your own time or you go in the city time?
Well, I don't get paid by the hour, I get paid by salary.
So you can take him to Houston or wherever he wants to
Well,
go?
that's not something that I'm doing. I mean, he currently needs, assistance with transportation during the time that they're gonna repair his vehicle. There's certain things that we do need from him, like signatures on certain important documents, payroll. I mean, if he doesn't come to the office to do that type of work, then, I mean, who else? He's the only one authorized for that.
Every day?
Well, right now, currently, with the auditor, there's certain forms that the auditor needs a signature. And, there's payroll, there's USDA. Every day, no, I'm not gonna say every day, but, I mean, he's an elected official by the people, and he's just trying to do his best here at City Hall. He just doesn't have transportation.
Because I've seen him a lot of times in a different vehicle and he's driving on his own.
Well, I would
Yeah.
be him.
No, because you said que no tiene transportation. He does have transportation.
Yes, I drive my Metro's TV, but that's not of your concern, see, and lo que ande haciendo yo. I didn't tell you what to do with the drive. Okay, anyone else? Okay, motion to adjourn.
Ms. Garza motions, can I get a second?
Second.
Si los seconds, third, any favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.